This is Joshua.
Hey, it's James. How are you?
Hey, James. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Two questions. I start with why now? Why us?
I'll give you probably a good answer to why now and a not great answer to why us, other than was just sort of trying to find some help and found you online. I mean the backstory is, and I'll try to keep this reasonably short, but coming out of the shutdown, I decided to go back to business dress for my company because I found that during the shutdown I had regressed pretty badly to like dressing like a hobo. And I also gained a bunch of weight, so I went out and bought some new suits that I didn't love. And then intersection of getting back in shape and deciding to buy a bunch of new clothes. I started buying a lot from Tom James.
Oh, no. Okay.
And some from Jay Hilburn.
Okay.
And then I have a guy that I mostly buy shoes from up at Bergdorf's in New York.
Okay.
And so I got to a point now, and I was sort of like basically changing over my closet for the fall. And what actually happened to kind of spark me to this, I was on a trip with some friends, and we went to a place in Vegas called Stitched, which was pretty cool. And I'm like, oh, I'll buy a suit. And I bought this suit. I ordered this suit, and I got home and realized I had just ordered the exact same suit I already had. And so it occurred to me, like, I have no actual like strategy for my wardrobe. I'm just buying stuff kind of randomly. So it's a long wind up to part of the why now is, they're going to do, I think next week is another one of these, Trump shows. And again, everyone is coming out of the woodwork for buy this, buy that. And I just need to have a better approach than sort of like haphazardly buying stuff because it looks good in the moment.
Okay. All right. That sounds fine.
So maybe a long answer, but hopefully give you some context.
Yes. Just so that I know, have you been happy with the things that you've been getting from Tom James and those kinds of people?
Being very happy with the stuff from Tom James.
Okay.
Happy with the clothes. Their service is pretty good. I don't think their style advice is particularly great. Like, here's a bunch of stuff and what do you like? And, so I don't necessarily feel like I get either great, like, oh, you have this brown suit, don't buy another brown suit. It looks exactly the same. And then also, like, they're not great at putting together, like, looks. So I do most of that myself. I wouldn't mind having help. The Jay Hilburn stuff has been pretty disappointing from a quality standpoint.
Okay.
Most of what I got from them was like golf clothes, but it doesn't wear very well.
Sure.
And then it's really open to alternatives.
Okay. Helpful. And then were you referred to us or did you just find us somehow?
I think I just found you. I was just looking for, stylist help and found you guys.
Okay. I have a spiel I can give if you have any specific questions first.
No, why don't you try the spiel and I'll ask any questions I have after.
Okay. Our clients are busy people. They do something really well in life, and they outsource most everything else to stay focused. They stay in their lane, and they're looking for a level of trust and competency, which is sort of where we come in. We do luxury acquisition, and we do it based on how you live your life. So there's a concept called code switching. Essentially, you dress differently based on time, place, occasion, audience, etc. So it helps us understand how you dress, which I guess goes back to your strategy point of not buying haphazardly, but with some intent, some focus. We outline the verticals, and then based on that, scope what you need. We're always super happy to use existing pieces that clients already come to us with. I do want to give a caveat here, and I say this half smiling, but it's serious. We're a gateway drug. If you like Tom James, you may be super unhappy with us. Tom James is like flying Spirit. We're like flying private.
Okay.
We're incomparable in terms of quality because we don't make clothing and we're not tied to any brand. It is our job to help you navigate literally the best of the world and bring it to you. We basically transcend the geographical distance and bring whatever you want to your doorstep to try. Step one is a closet audit. I come to you, take measurements, meet you, see what you have, benchmark your level of understanding for quality and fit based on what you already own, which puts us speaking the same language. That's usually the biggest challenge is you don't have the vocabulary to express what you need because you haven't had the experience to try things.
Yeah.
So that takes about an hour-ish, maybe less. Then step 2 is a wardrobe presentation. So behind the scenes between 1 and 2, I curate a collection for you based on the brands that I think meets your needs, your goals, your budget, we try to do. If you need options because you know you're consciously incompetent in terms of being able to express what you want, I'll bring you a couple different varieties of things that just gives you perspective on what's available, and then you can choose what level of quality you want to step into. So the first presentation takes a little longer because we're trying to, build a shared vocabulary and figure out your style if you could, have strategy to it. So at that time, you keep what you want. We return the rest for you, mark alterations. If you want to order custom, semi, so in that, that includes made to measure, order, or bespoke. I act as architect to that process. So I bring samples or swatches, wherever you want. Places orders for you. That's step 2. Step 3 is the delivery of alterations, along with a lookbook, which you might like because it's not on the website. We do it custom for clients. The problem we try and solve is time, right? So our clients, busy people, would text me at like 4:30 in the morning and going to the gym. Hey, does this pair of shoes match this pair of trousers? And while I'm super happy to answer that question, I am not awake at 4:30 in the morning.
I got it.
And we need to solve that for our clients. So we found this platform called Hue and Stripe. I can upload anything that I buy for you or that has already been purchased for you from anywhere to this platform. It's a digital inventory of what you own, which I suppose is interesting. But more importantly, you can tap on anything and it shows you outfits to wear with those things, so it increases confidence. And then further, it organizes those outfits into use cases. So if you say I have, business boardroom, work daily, social, religious, and dating, you can have a shirt that works cross vertical and know when you put it on, man, this thing works in all 5 verticals. Man, it just guys have to pair it differently.
Yeah, I got it.
That's the process.
Yep. Perfect.
We are an hourly service. We're $4.50 an hour is the top line. It's kind of like an attorney's. Well, your top line rate's your stylist, and then there's a fractional for administrative and operations and stuff.
Say the last thing again.
There's a fractional rate for operations and administrative.
Oh,
Like paralegals don't bill a top line rate. That's how I work.
okay. Perfect. It sounds very good.
Okay. If that's something that you want to do, the first step is the closet audit and a retainer.
Okay. So full disclosure, I called a couple people, so I've got a couple other calls, and I just want to finish that, and then I'll come back to you. But I really like what you're outlining. I'll be back to you hopefully quickly, and we can get going.
That's great. The thing I'd like to mention is we are probably the most premium or expensive for this service, and that is very much by design. Our people value their time and are trying to make sure that we fall in line with their values. So if that's a good fit, that's us.
Right. I mean, look, part of this is also like, I mean, I probably spent a couple $100,000 this year on clothes, so I don't mind paying a little bit of service fee for you to help me spend that money better.
That's great. I just like to warn people, please don't get into this if you're not interested in spending money on clothes.
Oh no, I totally am. Right. I mean, I built a lot of wardrobe back in the last couple of years because like you go from having no suits to having, I don't know, I probably have 20.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like clothes, so I wear suits every day, so I might as well, enjoy myself.
For sure. Your money won't go as far with us. That's important to understand. Like the market segment we work in, our knowledge base is quality.
I understand that.
Okay. Yeah, we're quality oriented, but it's a suit could be 5, 10, 15 grand pretty fast.
Yeah, and I think that like here's another, I guess, back to the why now or it's sort of the Tom James thing. Like they were pushing a couple of their higher end stuff. I'm just not sure that you're the person I'm going to buy a $10,000 suit from.
Even if you don't use, yeah, even if you don't use us, please don't buy that from them.
No. I mean, it was sort of like you're perfectly nice, and I'm sure you know a lot about clothes, and you handle this stuff very well. And I don't mind spending, whatever their suits are, like 2 or 3 grand. But it just struck me as I'm just not sure this is where if I'm going to spend 10 grand, I want to go to somebody who really is their guy.
Yep. Okay, cool. We're on the same page.
All right, perfect. Thank you again. Sorry about the time shifts, but thanks for being able to get on the call, and I'll come back to you quickly.
No worries. Feel better.
Thank you.
Bye.